Welcome in, guys. Hope everybody's doing all right. Uh, so I've played this game quite a bit. It got introduced to me a few years ago. Um, it's called Empyrion Galactic Survival. If you're not familiar with it, I think it was a game that it hit a certain, I guess, maybe genre of people or however you want to put it. I don't want to mislabel or label anything. But anyhow, it's a game that's about survival. Um, it has a lot of different options, a lot of different styles. You can play co-op, you can play single player, multiplayer, servers. What just it's got some different scenarios. It's got now the scenario that we're going to be playing is actually called Reforged Eden 2. So there's a couple of guys that did this scenario. It was kind of a rework of the game in some sense. And one of the developers of the scenario, or the mod, however you want to call it, is still currently doing some things to add some flavor to the game. They've reworked some of the POIs. They have reworked some of how the ships work. They've done some adding of storylines and missions and different stuff like that. So I thought I would fire this up and see if you guys, if any of y'all were interested in seeing more of this game. Now it is slow and it is grindy at the first. Like it is, it's a very, I want to say it's complex, but it's not. For the first time playing it, it's a little overwhelming of how all of it works. But once you play through it, and you play through it a few times, you really start understanding things. You understand how it all works. Excuse me. They even have, like, I'll try to show a little bit of it, if I could think of it when we get started. You can even go in and do a actual. You can go into a build creative mode, and you can build your own ships. But if you'll go into Steam, into Empyrion, and then go into the workshop, I don't know how much the game is. It's not that much, I don't think. It's less than $20. And if you are a survival player and you like space games, you're gonna love this game. There's combat in space, there's combat on the planets, and let me tell you something about the system. It is big. And when I say it's big, I'm going to show you just how big it is. It is one of the biggest sandboxes I have ever seen or ever been a part of playing with. And I think the more you have, there's a real good streamer that kind of really got me sucked into playing this game. And there's times that I'll just fire it up and play, and I'll play till I'm tired of it. There's really no end to the game, right? There's a storyline that you can do to kind of help progress your character and build your levels, and kind of introduces you to the factions and this and that you're going against. And you can align with any faction. That's the cool thing about this. There's no wrong or right way to play this game. You've got like 3 or 4 factions, and as you do things or you kill things, it either builds rep or it decreases your rep with those factions. So that you get to where you build a reputation, so when you go and buy things, or if you get in there close to their ships or their bases, or whether it be in space or it doesn't matter, whenever you get close to any of their stuff, that it'll either attack you or it won't. And you can get reputation to where you can actually spawn things in, like in space, you can spawn things in that they won't come and attack it. But you have to get your rep built up to a pretty high level before that's possible. There's been a few times that I've wanted to play like the bad people, get the rep up good with them. And I just haven't done it yet, but I want to. I want to do that side of it to see how differently it plays. I've always kind of just done the storyline, kind of, sort of, I guess you could say the good guys. But anyhow, I highly recommend this game. It is a fun game. It does have its little bugs. It does have its little issues, this and that. But doesn't all games? It's not like even the games coming out today. They have, and it could use a little updating on some of the graphics on the planets. But some of the planets are just beautiful. It's more of like the texturing of some of the grass and trees are a little bit jank. There could be a little more life form in the waters and stuff that you interact with or whatever. But for the most part, guys, to be honest, in my opinion, it's just as good as any game that comes out today. Like I said, it is the biggest sandbox. It's just huge. It is just huge. So anyhow, we're going to do a single player. We're going to start a new game. So what you have to do to play RE2, you have to go in to the Steam Workshop. You have to go to the Empyrion page. You go into the workshop in there, and you have to find the RE2 and download it. And then once you get that scenario, then you can play it on a single player. On a single player game. So you go to scenarios, we go right here to RE2, and then over here you decide where you want to start. I'm sorry, excuse me, on your start location. So you have some starter planets, right? You have Akua, and you have Taladar, and it tells you the size of the planet. It also tells you what kind of planet it is, the difficulty, the gravity, and all of this stuff that I'm telling you guys plays a factor into what you're going to face, element-wise or whatever, right? Temperature, radiation, whether it's a breathable planet or not. Like here, Omicron, it's got low gravity. The radiation's mild. But it's a non-breathable planet, which means it's a little bit harder to get started, right? And it also gives you some of the resources that are on the planet for you to get started. Carbon, iron, copper, and every planet's different, right? We'll go over to Rodri. Carbon, it's got a little bit, most of them will have copper and iron and carbon, but the other things, it might silicon, promethium, and all that, it's all a little different, right? So, and now they have, I don't want to speak. Let me go through here, but they've got all kind, no, I didn't see it. I thought they had started a thing where you could, random. It's a planet difficulty's easy. Planet type's random. So basically, what it does is just rolls the dice, and there's no telling where you're going to start. It'll just throw you on a planet, but it'll be an easy planet to start on. It may or may not be breathable. So it's kind of one of those things where it can be a little bit tougher start. But I don't recommend that for the first time. I recommend you starting on Akua, Taladar. Those are probably where I would recommend you start if you're a first-time player. It's a little bit easier. It'll have a decent amount of stuff. It's breathable. The gravity's is mild. So it's something that if you're a first time playing this I recommend you doing either Akua or Taladar. And then after you get through it, the next time you want to play it with you yourself or your buds or whatever y'all want to do, then maybe you do the rolling of the dice. That's what I would do, because I've got 2 or 3 guys that I play with, and I play with. Oh, I was telling you about the streamer. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, something's got me choked up again today. The streamer that I follow that really played the fire out of this for a long time and still does some. He's kind of got his, I guess you could say he gets a little burnout sometimes. But his name is Spange, and he has a lot of video, a lot of playtime on this on his video channel on YouTube. He has designed a bunch of ships. Yeah, you can actually design your own ships. It's just, guys, it's a really, to me, it's a diamond in the rough game that if you've never played, want something new to play, this I highly recommend this game. So we're gonna start we're gonna start on Akua, just so you guys that are new to this game kind of see what's going on and see if it's something that interests you. And I'm going to do a few videos to see what you guys are getting comments back, or views that are enjoying this, and we'll go from there. But anyhow, yeah, Spange, and he's actually got a Discord and everything, right? And if you are a Patreon or a subscriber to him, he actually has a server up. And this year was the first time, I think, that they've ever done like PvP mode, where it's very consensual, because as you will find out if you play this game, or if we get into it deep enough, it gets expensive when you lose a big ship. It's an expensive loss, a lot of time, a lot of resources. So but he has it to where basically he turned it on so that when you're like, if you're doing a POI with some buddies or group or whatever, that there's a little bit of friendly fire. That was mainly what it was kind of meant for. So if you want to see some good videos and some interesting stuff, he's one to kind of watch. He's pretty good. Yep, this is how we start. So we come down in a life pod, and this is the planet. So I was telling you about some of the texturing, like it could use a little updating. It's not like it's just horrific, but it to some of the games, although you take a game like Valheim, it's not, it's not like it's horrifically bad, but it could use a little bit. But anyhow, you'll have a prompt come up and you can just kind of follow along with it, whatever, and you get some basic tools. You'll have to give me a minute. You get some basic stuff to start with. Now this here rifle thing, it's a survival tool. So you hold down, you hit the right mouse button, and then it allows you to do resource mode, defense mode, which shoots a laser, and then salvage mode. So if you've got some structure you find, you can salvage it, maybe. So we're going to do resource mode and start just getting stuff. That's all it's about, is getting this stuff, the basic stuff. Getting a few things here, getting a few levels going. I seen that structure over there. We're going to go check it out. Kind of work our way towards it, picking up a few things along the way. I'm going to see what that building's about. So you can get rock, you can get ores, you can get trees for lumber, for wood and fibers. You can actually pick stuff up for fibers. All of the stuff is used um, from start to finish in this game. Excuse me. Yeah, and you can dig with it. Now some of the food products do have a spoiler on it, so you have to kind of manage that, just like with any survival. But as you're picking things and as you're gathering resources, you're getting. I'll show you here in a second. You're getting points, right? You get levels as you increase your levels. Then you get unlocked points, and you have you have this tier here of different things. Of this is to build bases with. Your large capital vessels, your small vessels, hover vessels, miscellaneous. It's just miscellaneous. It's just whatever miscellaneous stuff. Then you have tools. We can do a chainsaw, which will help us get wood and stuff. Then we have weapons, which is something that you want to try and get, going as soon as you can. So that's the thing, is we're just going to try and get a few levels. Hopefully we can. Now, like these base rock, eventually we'll be able to. If we can get this iron. There's some copper, little pieces. There'll be these little pieces like that, and there'll be like iron, silicone, cobalt. There's a piece of cobalt there. There's some herbal leaves. There's plant protein, which will help us get some food. You can just pick that stuff. And as I've played it enough, I kind of know what to look for. So if I miss over something or start doing stuff and not explain, I apologize. It's just I've played this so much, I just kind of comes natural to go and do certain things. And these, you can get berries off of this, but so we found a new POI. It's a wreckage. So we're overloaded. We don't have any more room. So let's look and see here. Suit constructor, can we make? Okay, it's not. We gotta unlock. I think it's under miscellaneous. Portable constructor. That's our first constructor that we can make things from, right? So we look here at our suit. What we can make on our suit, and do we have enough to make it? We do. So we want to make one of those. So you just left click it. And you'll want to make an atmospheric condenser, because you're going to need water and you're going to need oxygen, and it makes both of them. You just got to get fuel into it. Now the constructor doesn't take fuel. The portable one doesn't. The ones later on, they will take some type of fuel. So pick that up. What do we got here? I thought I might be able to make it into sort of a base, but I don't know. Got holes in it. I don't know if we can make a base here. We can make a base out of the stuff. Yep, we've reached level 3. See, each time you unlock a level, you get points to unlock more stuff. So, see if this is done constructed. Yep, it is. So you just grab it, pull it down here to your hotbar, hit your tab button, and we're just going to call this home for right now. And then what we're going to do is take all this stuff and put over there for now. Soup can we make? Yeah, we got to have plant protein. So make 2 candy bars. We're gonna need it. So I think what we're gonna do is just salvage this. We're just gonna get all the stuff out of it we can. Now, if you do stuff right, if you salvage it right, you could save you some time by sometimes you can get it to break away in a big piece, and then it'll save you a lot of time. You still get the it's hard to explain, but you get to do some good parts there early. Our retractable landing gear. Another one. But you get it like disconnected from everything, and it'll just like break or whatever. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, there's a box in here. Oh, we got a can of beans. Baked beans, that is. Baked beans. Most of the time, it would have already like come loose. It's weird. There it goes. And then you just come over here and pick up the pieces. Oh, I'm full. So, see how that just comes down? It's called debris. But this will be good for us to build us a first little base. We're gonna put this in here. We don't get overloaded again. Now, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes the structure, part of the structure can be underground. Not looking like it here, so we're not going to make a big hole, so it'll be okay. We'll get plenty of parts. All right. So, one of the first things that you can make is a hover bike. So you can see here, hover bike construction kit. I'm gonna make it, and it'll preempt. You just tell what you want, and if you've got the stuff to make it, it'll queue up what it needs to do to make that for you. So we're just gonna let that kind of cook, right? And we're gonna look here. We got our atmospheric condenser. We got us some candy bars, baked beans. Shoot, kid, we're doing good. I'm gonna put down this atmospheric condenser. Now it's got to have fuel, so one of the first fuels that we can make, I think it's under miscellaneous, is biodiesel. And you can use wood to break down the fiber, which turns into a biodiesel. So we're gonna go over here and gather some wood. Get us some chunks of wood here. Now this is just us getting started, so don't think this is some more graphite. This is just getting started. We're not going to stay here. I just want to get us something going before it gets dark. How much weight we got? We can get another tree. And that's one thing you want to do in the beginning is making sure this thing is making that you've got one of these constructors doing fuel all the time, because you are going to need it. Yeah, right here, biodiesel. So we're gonna do, we'll do 10 of those. And that gets done. So the first thing in the mission, okay. So the first thing we got to do is go to the broken antenna. It's not very, usually it's not very far from where you spawn in at. So let's walk up there and try not to run. Oh, we got raptors. Defense mode. Yep, there are hostile stuff on the planets. There's their babies. You can collect stuff off their bodies. Stuff that you'll use, like meat and other ingredients. Like, and those things all, well, I don't know where those babies went to. We'd get them. They kept running off, but I'm not going to run after them, because running uses up food. And early, you don't want to run unless you have to. Okay, so try not to run. Salvage this piece of iron here. Resource. I did on the wrong one. Some silicone. Yeah, pick up some of this stuff here. Stone I'm not so worried about. So it just kind of gives you, it's basically just a little tutorial. You can read it, it'll tell you what to do, but I already know what to do, so. Oh, there's some more of those are those babies. Bet you can't freaking tame them. What we got on this in here? Some meat. Those were the babies that we killed the mamas of, or there's more babies around. Regardless, we got them. We're gonna have meats back on the menu, boys. I'm gonna dig here. Yep, we reached another level, so we gotta dig down to that thing. You don't want to just dig straight down. You want to try and make it to where you can get in and out, because it can be a little bit of a whore, as we like to say, getting in and out of things. So make it to where you can get in and out. Make you a kind of ramp. Don't alright, there we go. Just kind of follow along the story here. Sorry, I'm trying to make it to where we're not sitting here. You guys, if you guys like it, you can come in here, and I've read this a few times, so it's Ida. Ida. Disconnect from the antenna, so that's our first step. Kind of part of the story, I guess you could say. There's a egg. Those little blue things give you an egg. And some of these resources and stuff come in different forms on different planets and stuff. They'll look a little different. You'll learn to. This here is just herbal leaves. which is important. You got to have it. I think you got to have it to make band-aids. They changed that up. It used to be just fiber and something else, I think. I'm gonna head back to our position of where our stuff is. Oh, there's another POI over there. I can see it. Wreckage right there. See it? Another one right there. Check them out. Once we get our bike, we get back and get our bike finished. There's some more raptors up there. Could go kill them and proceed. Typically, I wouldn't start here anymore. I like a little more of a challenge now. So, I usually wouldn't start here. Just so I don't have to worry about doing the story part anymore. Now, where did we go past our... Yeah, well, that's our thing. And we're still going the right way. It's right up here. You got a little mini map kind of up there in the top right compass thing. And it'll have a little tag on there of where your stuff is. But you can also pull up M and it'll have it too. That's where we're going to next. The yellow flag is our next destination, but it's a pretty good far piece off. And we got some stuff we got to do before we can go do that anyway. Just because I already know what to expect. Oh, it's salt. I think we need to use salt for anything. But we do have is enough to make another constructor, which is good. We're going to need another one. We almost got some fuel here, and we got this done. So what we do then, we got the parts, you got the kit for it, but you don't have the bike, right? So you have to come over here, you make the hover bike, and it requires one kit. So then you just click that, and Bob's your uncle. It'll produce us a hover bike. Now the hover bike doesn't require any fuel. It's kind of basically all you've got to do is just get the mats to be able to make it. It doesn't cost any fuel or anything like that. So it's a good way to get around, explore your planet a little bit, and kind of everybody does it a little different, on how they like to do things. As far as farming their resources and stuff. See, are they done with this? Yep, that's done. So I can put that iron in there. Okay, and we take this here. And then we can put another one of them down. So then what we can do is take the iron, copper, silicone, graphite. You can put it right here. And then it'll open it up. Most everything takes 5. So it'll take 5 ores. So out of this here, we'll get 10 or 12. 12. We'll get 12, 13. We'll get 13 iron ingot. Here we'll get 3 copper. 3 here, and then so on and so forth. So usually what I do is just do 20 of all of it, let it produce it, and it'll make what it can make. It ain't gonna, if it don't have it, it can't make it, right? So it'll just go to the next thing in queue. So we'll let that be going, and we're gonna come over here. Looks like our hover bike's done. We got our fuel here. Let's take it, and we're gonna put it over here. Now, it'll only hold 1 in each slot. So we're just going to take all 10 and put it here. Source of quality is 23%, not real great, but it is what it is. It'll give us some oxygen and it'll give us some water, which we're going to need at a later date. And now that we have some food, we need to cook that up. If not, it's going to spoil. So we might as well cook it up. We got 8 of those and we got 2 eggs. So let's get that going, and then that needs to be over there. Food is always good to be having going. Alright, so now with this bike, you just put it on your hot bar, you just left click and it drops it, right? So then you just hit F, and it's a hover bike. If you're not familiar with that, you just hit space and it gets you hovering, right? Just like that. And then you just turn with your mouse left and right, and then you can just go forward, you can go left and right, you know, and then you can go backwards. But it's hover, so it relies on there being something underneath it to push it up. And then if you want to get off, you just hit F, it gets off. But now if you leave it too long, it'll package up, and then if you leave it too long after that, it'll despawn, and then you're without it. So if you know that you're just getting off to do something real fast, then you can leave it, but try and make a habit of just picking it up, right? So it tells you left shift F, pick it up. It weighs a little bit, but that's okay. I would rather it weigh a little bit and I not get as much of something than to lose that and have to walk back, because it will not be fun if you're a long ways away, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over here, make sure that I don't have anything on me. Okay, so we're gonna go over here to this wreckage. We got wreckages everywhere. What's this? Another wreckage? Yep. We got a lot of wreckages here close. That's good. That's good. It's a lot of materials. Lots of materials. Lots of materials. That's good. So, yeah, we're going to do that. Salvage. Try not to break off too much of chunks, because you're not going to have the ability to pick it all up. If you get too much, then you've lost those mats. And here early, everything is critical. You can kind of take an eye on what you got, 89 and 50, so we got a little room. Not a big deal. Doing now 117. All right, so we're slowly filling it up. What we can hold. Sun's starting to set. Now there's one thing we need to do when we get back, is we need to build us a tent. Because sometimes different creatures will come out at night. Not always, but sometimes. A lot depending on where you're at, what planet you're on. Will be what you will be faced with. Where are we at? We're halfway there. Okay. Oh, we got a container. Most of these POIs will have a container in there. Sometimes it has some good stuff, sometimes it don't. Just, you get it. Pick that up. Looking at 30. It looks like we're going to get most of this, looks like. How's our bike looking? Yeah, always keep a... Yeah, looks like it broke. Okay, so that's all of this one. There might be some stuff underground, but I'm not going to dig at it right now. It's dark. So we're going to go on back over here to our spot. Here we go. Pick our bike up. We're going to put this stuff in there. Probably ain't going to need that. We do have eggs and meat now. Eat us an egg. Get our food up a little bit. See, it's got a spoil time on it. If the meat's 37, the egg's 46. But meat gives us a little more than what the egg does, so it's kind of a give and take thing. So, what is it for a tent? We got to have 35 fiber. So let's do a tent right quick. So we're going to need 35, that'll be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that should give us enough to make us a tent. And that's going to be your spawn point. And we're going to look at unlocking some stuff too here for a second. I'll put that over here. We'll make us a tent. Take it a minute to do while that's doing that. So let's look at weapons. We can unlock the shotgun. We can unlock the rifle. I suggest that you probably the sniper rifle is probably the best one to unlock right now. And then tools. We need the mechanical drill. And then for weapons, need to unlock the light armor. For weapon, you got light, medium, and heavy, but you can pick up some special armor along the way, just like with the guns and stuff. You get special weapons along the way, and some of them you can't get the ammo for real easy, so you'll end up probably trying to sell them at different vendors that you find, merchants. Or you just stick them and they go in a pile. And they just sit there. So, what was we doing? We were making a tent. Alright, so let's put the tent down. Out here. Alright, there's our spawn. Now, you can sleep for 8 hours. But it's only 10:30, so that means you're going to get up at 6 and it's still going to be dark. So you probably want to wait till about midnight before you try to go to sleep. So there's still stuff that we can do. And grab all this, put it over in this other one. Fiber in there. And let's look and see if any of the things that we just made. So we can make a chainsaw and we can make a drilling. So let's make this and let's make this. Alright. And then we need to make some more fuel. Because it takes, both of these will take fuel. So we got to have fuel for both of them to use them. But I heard something. It's just me hearing something. So, while that's doing that, let's go get some more. Go here and grab a couple more trees. I know I said not to run, and what am I doing running? Get us some more. A little more wood. Oops, sorry. And different trees, different things, they give you different wood. Maybe we'll remember where that's at. Maybe we can come back and get it right quick. And in here, that's about done. So we're going to do another 10 of those, and we'll go back and get this wood. We're going to go through a lot of fuel. Like I said, you really just need a constructor set up for doing nothing but wood fuel for a while. See if we can find that. I don't remember where that was at. Right in here. So there it is. There it is. And those have a spawn timer on it too, so you don't have. I mean, it's not like real fast, but you don't have a bunch of time either. I don't know what it is. We'll look and see the next time something drops. I don't remember. It's like an hour or something. So it's not like you're going to lose it immediately. It takes a while, but if you're going to play for 4, 5, 6 hours, and you don't, yeah, 3 minutes. So inventory's full again. Well, wood weighs quite a bit, evidently. Take this back over. I could be using the bike, but we're not that far, so. And the bike does save on, it saves on you not, using food and stuff. So it does save on time. It does save on, I hate digging holes close. I shouldn't have done that. It's going to aggravate me. We got a pretty good chunk of wood to start off with. So now we've got a drill. Usually put that down here in the last slot. Move that over here. We got a flashlight, then we got a scanner. Now the scanner, load these suckers up. Just so we have them. A scanner is a handheld scanner. And when you do it, it sends out a, like a radar, and it picks up stuff. Picks up all these wreckages and any other thing that might be in the vicinity up to certain meters. I don't know how far it is, like 600 or 700 meters or something like that. But after time, it'll go away. Those spots will go away. But they'll always be on your map. Once you've located them, this map, it'll show where they're at. See how they disappeared? Once you identified what they are, they'll stay there. But once the ones that you haven't, they'll disappear. So this is the planet. You can see how big, and they come in different sizes. This is the system. This is the system we're in, Alpha, right? And this is the planet we're on, Taladar, and it has a couple of moons, but you can see all these other planets in this system, right? Quite a bit. I mean, you think about how big this was, and then you think about all these, right? Then you go to the big map. I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back out. So it'll put, okay, so we're in the Alpha starting system. And to turn it. You see all them little dots? Pretty much every one of those little dots is a system. So if we wanted to just take off like this, see how they're popping up? All these dots, all these dots, all these dots. Excuse me. They're systems. They're systems. Systems. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said when I first played this. I was like, holy Jesus. It's endless. It is just completely and utter endless on. And then you got these, now they've put in these jump gates, which basically help you, save you on time and resources of fuel, of jumping to places, right? And then they've got these different areas that are claimed. Let me do territories. So these territories, they have these bubbles where it shows, like that's an unclaimed space area, meaning no faction has, I guess, any reign over that. Then you have the Creel. Then you have the Xerax, and you have the Wastelands, and then you have um, the Seas of Silence. You have the Trade Federation, Tranquility. You have the Badlands, where the pirates are. You have the Forge, that's the Polaris. The Prosperity is the colonists. So you have all these. You got Drone Space, Drone Lands, that's where the drones are. So you have all these different factions in here. I don't know what the tan is. I don't know what that one is. Can't read it. So anyhow, as I was saying in the beginning of this video, she's big, boys. She's real big. And I know some of y'all have played, what's it called? What's the other big game? Whatever. The space game, No Man's Sky. And I've tried that a couple of times, but there's no, to me, there's just no purpose to it. There's really, to this, you can make your own purpose. Like, you could say, okay, I'm going to be a pirate clan, or I'm going to be a this, that, or that. And then there are little storylines that you can pick up, little missions that you can pick up and stuff and do. And so there's not really a purpose necessarily besides becoming, the biggest and the baddest in the system, whatever faction you want to choose, I guess. But it's just different. It's a free for all for whatever you want to do, right? It's just so what we're going to do is, now that we've got a few little resources, I'm going to put the bike down here. First, I want to check and see. Yeah, now we're getting water and we're getting oxygen, so that's working good. And then we're still making fuel. Grab a few more of these. I'm going to queue up some more. We don't have any ore. Smelt. Okay, so we're going to get on. First, I'm going to do this scan, because there was a couple of things. Wreckage, antenna. There's a heat signature that way. Let's go see what that is. We'll check it out. Yeah, you're going to hit a lot of things. It's a little aggravating, but it's a lot better than walking, so it's just another wreckage. Another wreckage to get us some stuff here. I thought there was another one. Yeah, there's another heat signature this way. We'll go a little ways, and then I'll have to... You have to jump off your bike to scan again. Oh, there it is. If you get close enough, sometimes it'll pop up, so it's another wreckage. We got plenty of wreckages to get. That's good. What we want to find, though, is some ore. There's some things that way. Oh yeah, look at all that stuff. All that stuff. We go over here and see what all this is about. We'd like to find some copper. Look at there, small deposit of copper. That's good. Oh, I hear something. This is kind of a jungly woods area, so there's going to be other shit in here. See what this is. Yeah, it can be a little frustrating, but like I said, something underground. These roots, they get me all the time. We got here iron, so we got iron and copper. There went something just freaking flying ass through. There's something else. What the hell? Oh shit! Ooh. Yeah, this is not a good scenario, guys. This is not good. Blew up our bike. Now these freaking wraithworm queens are nasty. stuck. We're going to take advantage of it. We lost our bike. We lost our bike. But that's part of it. It's part of the survival part of it. We'll just pick up stuff along the way. Hope that we can get back without, I'm not going to pick up any like heavy stuff. I'm just going to pick up plant proteins and eggs and stuff for food. Anything I can get for food. These freaking roots. Yeah, we are. So you can put tags. Like that. You just click on it. So we'll have a tag. We got to go a kilometer that way. Now we got to make another bike once we get back. If we don't die, because I'm sure we're going to run into stuff. I should have made a weapon before we took off, but I was just going on the bike. I didn't know what was going on. Can't see. Hope we don't, there's another queen over there. Plenty of copper and silicone pieces here. Our health, we got hit a couple of times. Our health dropped. I'm trying to just make a direct beeline for the for the constructor. These big green trees give off good wood. So we'll probably come back. Oh, there's some raptors. They'll kill you in a hurry. Back to the journey abroad. That could have ended badly. Not too badly. We'd have just died. We'd have been back at our tent instead of making this long trek. Get my gun back up here. These things do. Pterosaur. On the island. Playing some Ark. They were sleeping. Some plant protein going here. Need some herbal leaves. We need to make some band-aids, probably. Wouldn't hurt to have a couple in the beginning. Yep, here's some, here we go, there's some herbal leaves. Now, I don't want anything heavy slowing us down. We're about halfway back from where we were. Getting there. And we're at about 5 or so much, just food stuff. We're pretty close. Get some more herbals. Not seeing a whole lot of them. Almost there. But at least we did find some copper and iron deposits. We can get a little bit of that going, get us some weapons built and some ammo. Weapons and ammo. Grab this copper. Now that we have a drill. Take nothing to get them now. And we're back. More copper. More copper. Get those up. We got going on here. This goes, all of this goes. They spoil times 10, so we might as well go ahead and make them up. If they spoil, at least gives you more of a chance to 4. Then we had a couple of eggs. And then we're going to look at, we make a band-aid? We can. So it takes 1 protein and 1 herbal leaves. And plant fibers. I'm going to make up 6 of those. We got to look at making another bike. And then we got to look at making a sniper rifle. And then we got to look at making... So on these here, for every click, you got to look at that for your, like your ammo. So the output, if you look on that where it pops it up, at the bottom there it says craft time 8 seconds. And then for each click, that gives me 20 bullets. So just be mindful of that when you're producing stuff early, that you don't, make up a bunch of it and then you used up a bunch of your stuff and all you've got's a bunch of bullets. Now, it's not like you're not going to use them, but you don't want to, you don't want to eat all your stuff up in the beginning. By doing, if you used to do like 10, well, that'd be 200 rounds. Well, you may not want to do 200 rounds in the beginning. You just may want to do 20 or 30 rounds. I don't know what you can, you have to decide what you can afford and want to do. So anyhow, we're going to let that do its thing. Iron's done, and copper's done. So let all that go. And you can cancel, like if you really need this other stuff done, you can just do that and it'll go down to the last one and then it'll produce this other stuff first. It'll go ahead and go on to the next queue. And then you can just add it back to the, you can just come over here and say, okay. Excuse me. Once it's done, then all you got to do is just come back over here and hit like shift left click and it'll put 10 more up there. It's no big deal. We're going to cancel. I want to get the bike back up so we can go, and I want to get these 2 things done. But I'm going to put back in the food stuff that we had. 3. Had a couple of eggs, and then I want to do the band-aids. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, put those back at the end here. Back over to the fuel. It's really about just kind of managing stuff, right? You don't want the food to spoil, so you try to. So vegetables, okay, they got plenty of time on them, so a couple of those. Excuse me. Actually, we can cancel all this. We need to get that bike done next. Then we can go back to the food. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we're going to do the band-aids. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can even do a cast if we break a bone. But now at least we've got a rifle. We're going to put that over here. Flashlight over here. Out of the way. Have a little bit of ammo. Load it up. I think it's 10 rounds. Maybe it's 8. No, it's 10. Okay. Always going to do some more fuel. Put 10 more in there. We don't need to carry around 21 of those. That's for bullets. There's our bike. And it's liable to happen again. Just saying. Alright, so found copper. So let's go get the copper. Where do we got to go here? Southeast. So we want to head that way. Copper wasn't very far over here. I'll show you digging it out. If you'll watch your little mini HUD, and then it pops up too. Usually once it comes within a little bit of the ring of your mini HUD, map up there. Don't forget to pick your bike up. Uh-oh. Something is definitely not happy with us. Can't see. What that was. Something was not happy with us, folks. There's a dead parasaur. See anything. looking. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, the animation on some of this reloading can get you a little tense. I think we're all right now. I think that may have been what killed the parasaur, I'm not sure. But I think we are basically right over the top of this. So, you can hit F5, and you have a little drone on your bodysuit. And then, as long as you're over the drill, on your hot bar, it'll drill. So you don't have to worry about getting down in the hole. You can just dig you a hole straight down to it. And whatever you drill gets put into your suit. Right? So you don't have to worry about, unless you're full, and then it'll just drop outside of where you were standing. So then you can just come back and pick it up. Not a big deal. If you start taking damage because you're remote, you got to get out of this fast and figure out what's going on, what's killing you. You got to kind of pay attention. Yep, see there? Oh, nope, that was just unlocked. So we can get a little more. We're about full. Yep. Just hit F5 again. Bring up the gun. Triceratops. What in the world? I swear we're back on the island. Oh, he is pissed. Where he come from, but oh, we can't get it all. That sucks. Well, it is what it is. Well, once we put the bike down, we can, because the bike weighs, right? Oh, there we go. All right, now we can go. Now the bike weighs quite a bit, so whenever you get full while you're holding your bike, if you feel safe, put your bike down and you can go back in there and get a few more pieces of ore. But being that we're this close, man, little bushes. Being that we're this close, I'm not too worried about a few pieces. Dump all that in there and get that queued up. Put us over here. The other, oh, this one. Got some more meat to cook. Got our band-aids. Making fuel. Need a little bit of food here. So, go back and get some more copper. What's our next? What did we get to on our? We had on level. We're at level 7. Okay. All right. Probably could actually go and do the next thing. Need to get some more wood going. Need to get some wood going. Let's go get a load of wood on the bike here. But here, this thing, I think that's a big chunk of wood if I remember right. Well, that's stone. That's all right. Look over here to these big trees. We may actually come back over here and build our kind of our base over here by the water, because we're going to have things that are extracting stuff from the water and oxygen. We got to be near the water. So we may move over there. I don't know. We'll see later on. Get some more wood. Now we're full. Yep, that sucks. Wood weighs a lot. You'd think the ore would weigh more than the wood would. You'd think I'd be able to get a little more wood than that, but we got plenty of salvaging to do. Lord of mercy. Which is good, because we're going to have to build us a base. More wood. More fuel going. Actually, we need to go get, probably ought to go do some iron. We need us another constructor where I can dump the wood in it and it just be doing that and not clog that one up. Let's run over there right quick. Wasn't that iron? Yeah, the iron was just past that copper. Let's go get a little load of iron. And make us another constructor so it can be producing fuel for us. There's a copper over there. Whoop. Yeah, boy, if you just bump something, it'll throw you for freaking. Yep, we're headed the right way. Oh, there's another radar signature. Let's go see what that is. So we have that iron thing. Let's see what this is. Silicone, that's nice. The wreckage. And we got plenty of scrap metal, that's for sure. We got 3 of the main pieces of the wreckage. The wreckage. Gonna do right quick. Scan. Get anything? Heat signature there. Let's go get this iron. Get us a load of iron. Now some guys, or some people I should say, too far? Yeah. Some of them will bring a constructor and just place it down by the hole where they're digging. And they'll just sit there and smelt while they're digging, which is fine. The problem is with that I have, is you're going to have to get that ore back to your spot somehow. Since these are all relatively close, that ain't too much of a jot to run this back and forth. So, and typically I do it regardless. I've never done it that way. I never did like it. But I know some of the guys I play with, that's how they do it, so that's fine. Each to their own. There's no, like I said, there's no wrong way to play this game. It's whatever works for you that you think is the best. Dragonfly. Not sure how he got down here. So be it. He ain't gonna slow me down. Not gonna slow me down. Alright, so we're full. Alright. Alright, where's our bike at? Oh, it's on us. Just so then we can drop the bike. And that freed us up 100 pounds. So what we can do is take this. Go back down in there. That up. What'd that give us? A little more room. A little more room. Oh, now we're full. Rid of the rock. Alright, now we're full. Cannot hold any more. It's just crushed stone. Alright. Let's head out. Get this back. Make us another constructor. Move over some wood into it and let it be producing fuel for us. Once we get our first ship, that's what we're gonna have for fuel, is this biofuel to begin with. So, and run our base. So it's gonna take a lot of that to to run off of. So that's one thing you constantly can be doing, is just dedicating that one constructor to doing that. Oh. See how it boxed it up? I couldn't pick it up. But what we want to do is make one of these. Should have done that while we were riding back. That was my fault. Wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. We can go ahead and do that. About half done. Worried about them raptors out there. They just need to stay over there. Ain't nobody bothering them. Take that off, because that has more perish time like that than it does cook. Crazy. I hear you. You're gonna get shot, you keep messing with me. Stop that. Because we're gonna move that over here in a minute. Yeah, we got that. 8. We'll put that one right there. get the old mini back. Keep hearing them raptors. I don't know where they went to. Better keep a distance. Gonna get shot. Alright. Over there. Get over here. Get a little bit of ore going here. Some food and water. Or air and water going. Guess what we could do is band-aids. We got ammo. We got a rifle. We're back here. Where's our next crash ship over there? 1.5 clicks that way. Let's go and do that. That's the next part of kind of the story, I guess you could say. Typically, you got to cross big chunks of water. Maybe we'll get lucky. Does look like we're going to be going through the forest. I'm going to stop a couple of times and we got a cave, a radar signature. Okay, come on, the gas. I like these big jungle areas like this. Big trees. Oh, there's our ship. What ore is this? Copper. Some more copper. That's good. Alright. So it looks like our companion's ship crashed. You kind of got to let the prompt go do it. It's talking to you, the Ida. Talking to you. But there's some boxes here that has some stuff in it. Gives you a sniper rifle and some ammo and stuff. So you kind of give you something in case you hadn't produced anything yet. Like I said, guys, I'm not going to read through all of it. I've done it. I don't know how many times. But anyhow, there's a box here at the beginning that'll kind of give you a few pieces just in case you didn't. Maybe you didn't have a sniper rifle, or maybe you're low on ammo, and then there's some more here. You know, some more boxes and stuff. We'll go ahead and we'll get that after we get done. There's a few boxes around here. Give you some pieces of stuff. But it'll tag where you need to go next. So we got to go down to this electromagnetic signature. I know what I messed up on. You know, I forgot to make our armor before we left. Let's run back and do that. That will make things a little easier for us. No further than we are. Usually it's like 3-4 clicks away, and you got to go over water and up around big mountains, and this is a straight shot through the beautiful forest here. So no longer than it is, it'll take us to go back. I think we'll have the stuff to make a suit. Let's just run over here real fast. Pick this up. Get us a suit. Won't take us long. It'll just make it easier dealing with this part. Well, it'll make it easier, period. That over here. That'll be under weapons right there. Now, with this armor, you gotta have a locker. You got to have an armor locker to put it on. You can't just put it on. You got to have a locker, a piece of equipment, a piece of a ship or a base, and it'll have a locker on it. But you gotta be looking in the locker to be able to put the armor on. So anyhow, I know that this ship has one on it, so that's kind of a spoiler. Little thing you guys can take as a freebie. Make sure you make one of those before you leave, unlike what I did. This way. I knew it, I unlocked it, I just forgot to do it. So, like I said, no big deal. Go over here and do this. Access the container, open it up, foul smell eliminates from it, investigate there's a body in it, search the container, search his pockets, take the money, he ain't gonna need it anymore, search the body. Alright, had 80 credits on him. Another box under the ship. But I want to go back up here to the middle of it where it was busted apart right quick, if I can. And there is a locker. Is that thing? I think it's... Oh, it's right there. Yep, see it right there? Crap. I did it perfect and I missed. Well, you just come around here like this. Well, that didn't... What happened? Oh, shoot. Nope, do it again. Like I made a loop around it. Got to get in that spot there. There we go. You can access the locker, and you just drag it over to your armor spot. There we go. You hit U to pull the helmet off, or you put U to put the helmet on, and then it uses up your suit oxygen, and you can use your headlamp like this. But it's a breathable planet. We don't need the light, so Bob's your uncle. There you go. Now you can turn your J for your jetpack. Yeah, see the jetpack come on. So you hit J, it turns it off, turn it back on. So now you have a jetpack. And it helps a lot in this part because there's a lot of jumping around and stuff like that. So you come over here to this data pad, talk to it, talk to Ida. Some of that stuff you really gotta, and it logs it all in. There's some materials here we can grab. There's a box over here, just saving us from having to come back in this part of the ship. We'll put it all out here in this box, all that other stuff. We'll put it out here, this black box. Now let's see. Now we got to get up there. We got to get up there so we can get on this thing here. Use our jetpack. Look at the logs. That was the next. Did examine the data pad. Alright, must have not clicked the right buttons, but I thought I did. Don't remember now. I'll wait for it to... It's sending and receiving the logs over on the right of the screen, if you'll see it. Counting down. Access the constructor logs, so back up there where we were at. Food in the fridge. And you can take damage, fall damage too, just to let y'all know. So be real easy with the jetpack and making sure that you don't fall from high up, and you can reach it from here. You ain't got to go up in the ship. Activate the console. My name. Password. Open message. Downloads. Talk to it. Read it. Copy the files. Roger that. Uh-oh. What the heck? Uh-oh, we got an enemy drone overhead. We got to take it out. See it on the little mini map coming in. There it is. Reload. Where it went. There you go. Put the drone down, baby. That's why you need a sniper rifle. Yeah, they'll have parts on them. Now we can go around and Pick up our stuff. What we can. Boxes there, and I think there's some... Oh, there's one under that ship. Right here. C to crouch. Wait, hold on here. Biofuel, that's alright. You know, I never use this. Never. Ever. Staying. I'm not carrying that. I collect them, and I don't know that I've ever used one jug of that shit. I want to think there were some more boxes, but we really don't have a whole lot of weight. And the suit does increase your carry capacity, but there's a box. Anything in here worth getting? What was that? We picked up magnesium, copper, iron. Well, that had the motor and the iron and the copper, but we got that one. Alright, so we're pretty much done here. Now, used to, you could take this whole ship down. You could salvage this whole thing. But now they've got an admin core in it where you can't do that anymore. So, and I get it for like if you're playing multiplayer, but that should be an option. If you're playing single player, I believe that it should be accessible. Once you've done through this part, you should be able to come back and salvage it, because there's a lot of good resources there. But evidently, they didn't think you needed that option anymore, so they just said, nope, you're not getting all this free mats. No, we're going to make it a little harder than what it already is. Get your first little ship up. You're just SOL. No taking this down no more. So we'll go back to the old tent here. We'll dump all of our stuff off. We got quite a bit of bits and bobs. Stuff we don't need just yet. Don't need all that fuel. Okay. What are we doing here? Well, I think we put some... The magnesium, it has to be ground into a powder. That can be... That ore can be put over here. Iron over here. How are we doing on fuel? Oh yeah, we're still pumping it out. Good. That's good. Well, I think I'm going to call it there, guys. We got a sun going down. We got us some constructors going. Grab the bike before I forget. But anyhow, yeah, this is Empyrion. And yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but I've kind of give you an idea of well, here, let me show you right quick before we jump off. So you guys, so you go into the workshop and you can go in there and you can download pre-built by other people, or there are some that are loaded into the game of ships. So you go into here and you can see that you can go in there and download, but you have to make sure that whatever ship that you're getting, it has to be for the scenario that you're playing, because the things that there's different requirements for the scenario for the ships, and it may not necessarily work, or it may spawn in and it not have any thrusters, or it may spawn in and miss half of the ship because the blocks are different in different scenario. It's so make sure whatever you download for the ship, it's for the scenario that you're going to play. And like I said, there's some other scenarios, not just this one, that you might check out if you're interested in this game. And you know, but the main thing is to make sure that you and if you find a ship in another scenario that's made for another scenario and you want to play it, say, for this one, all you got to do, you can still download it, and you can go into a like a single player mode like this, and there is some admin commands that you can use. You can spawn it in for free. You can do the modifications to it needed to get it playable for this scenario, and then you can save it, the blueprint. And there's videos out there, and if you have trouble finding it, or you don't understand or whatever, you can let me know in some comments, and I'll do a little video and show y'all how to do that. But you can and then you fix it, then you can save it as your ship for your own personal use, or you can even re-upload it to the workshop as a modified version of, and reference it back to this ship, and give a thanks to the previous person that that designed the original ship and this and that. You just wanted to update it, you can give a brief description and blah 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 blah. In fact, this is one of them. This was in a later scenario that I played, but I really liked the ship, but it wasn't for this scenario. So I downloaded it, I went in, made some fixes to it, some upgrades, this and that, to where it's playable for for this version, for this scenario. And I did this carrier too. It's a refit, what I called it. But anyhow, as you can see, and it's broken down into whatever, whether it be bases, you can do hovers, you can do small vessels, and then your capital vessels, or you can have all of them. And you can do the ones that are preloaded. These here are all, this little tag here shows these are the ones that are preloaded onto the game. Whatever they're generally just basic things. There's nothing wrong with them. They'll work. It's just, you might want to find something that's a little more, you like a different style. So yeah, there's good little starter bases like this if you want to prefab. Used to I did that, but anymore I just build my own. I think it's part of the game is designing your own. Usually it's just a Bob box, but it works. It does, especially the starter one on the planet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just need a turret or two and a big enough area to house some stuff and your storage boxes and stuff, and then there's all kinds of, but you can see, the size of some of these ships are just, and there are some guys out there, and girls, I'm sure, that just, it is unbelievable. I was going to show you. This is one of Spange's builds, and it is just remarkable, the thinking that goes into it. If you ever, and Spange has done a lot of building videos, so he would be a good one to go, and if you want to watch someone build a ship, he has series of videos of him building ships, and see what goes into it, and the thinking involved in planning and stuff. He's a good one to pick up a lot of tips on. But that's, but there's some really cool ships out there, man. Just, and all you do is, like, you find one you want to, let's say we want to, I don't know, that we want to do, usually one of them that I do pretty early. where is it? Is it that one? Yeah, this one. Well, that's one that I probably would do early. But there's another one that's pretty. Is it this one? No. There's one that's. I think it's that one, maybe. Yeah, I think it's that one. Probably the one we'll do. It's just a starter. There's nothing. It's got some drills. It's just a starter miner just to help produce, to get you to your next ship. That's all it's about. Is you start off with basics and you build up through until you get to your, before you know it, you've got a fleet of ships. And but you just select your ship, and it'll tell you what you need to unlock down here if you haven't already. And then once you do that in the tree, the tech tree, then once you hit on this, it'll say add to factory. And then once you hit the add to factory, it'll come to another screen. And then you got to add, these are the ingredients that it takes to produce the ship. So you just start pulling stuff from your inventory or your boxes and putting it in there to produce this ship. It's really not complicated figuring this part out. So anyhow, I just thought I'd let you know that there, again, you just go to the Steam page, into the workshop, and then, put in, what you're looking for, and it has like filters. So, and I can kind of do that. Maybe I'll do that on the next video, is kind of start off there, kind of show you a brief tutorial of how you do that. So you'll kind of see what to do on your own, have a little more familiar with it. But anyhow, and then this is your PDA, and it has where you can go and look at stuff, where you're at in your mission, your main story mission. Then you have all these side missions that you can pick up and that you already have, like you've got one here. There's one for the Polaris. There's a few little story missions here that you can do that give you some stuff and some points, and they're fun. They're really actually good. Especially the first time, they're really fun to do. Then you have Empyrion here that kind of you can come and look, and it talks about the planets and galaxies. You can go through and look if you're looking for a particular place, where to look, and the different resources. If you're looking for the ores, like, well, we want to find where copper's at. Well, it don't tell you what planet it's on, but it tells you what planets it mostly is on, right? So it's a basic in rarity. It's commonly found on planets and moons. It's usually can be found everywhere, right? But then they have your common resources, and then your uncommon, and then your rare and exotics. So you do have different levels of resources that you can, but your PDA has all kinds of different stuff in here, telling you stuff, how to do things and stuff. So but anyhow, looks like it's got night on us again. And with that, I'm going to call it there, guys. I really hope that you enjoy this. I'd like to see some comments. Let me know if you want to see some more of it. It's a fun little game. A lot of adventure, a lot of excitement, especially in a group. There's some good laughs. And there's some frustration, there's no doubt, but there's some good laughs. You make some good memories with some buds, whatever, and hang out and chill and explore the stars, man. But anyhow, that's going to be it for me, guys. And until next time, I hope y'all have a good evening. I'm going to try and stream maybe Friday night and Saturday night, do a live stream. So if you want to try and pop in and say hi, I'd appreciate it. You could lurk, whatever you want to do. You ain't got to say nothing. But a thumbs up would be great in this video and the futures to come. I appreciate it. Y'all take care. OG is out.